G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video where I flip my 5-year Hobonichi Techo. So let's get straight into it because there are 365 days to flip, and if I spend forever on this, it's never going to end. So there's going to be another version of this available, filmed much nicer with some beautifully aesthetic shots, just laid back to music, just so you can get a better look at stuff. Today I'm going to talk through the whole thing, kind of what I used on the pages that I decided to over-decorate, or some of the ideas I had, and what kind of worked, what didn't, or, you know, I mean, to be honest, nothing really didn't work, but stuff for you to know if you're going to purchase your own Hobonichi 5-year Techo. I absolutely love this thing. This is in the A6 size. It is very small, like, it can fit in my hand, like it's tiny. It comes with these little papers. This is just a little instructional booklet, but if you don't read Japanese, it's probably not going to be much help to you, although I do think the premise is quite simple. Just document your day. And then it comes with this little piece of paper that the book is made out of, so that you can test pens and stuff. Sometimes the pens I would use were very wet, and I would blot up the ink with this, and then even when I went to Japan, I stamped out some stuff in here as well. But it's nice that they give you a little tester sheet just in case you don't want to do all of that in your book. And then it also comes with this. In fact, I don't think it does come with this. This came with the cover. This is the cover. When I originally got it, it was just this here. I did get this cover from Japan in Kyoto from the Tobichi store and decided to put that in there. Red is my favorite color, although I do think it was the only selection for this. This size is kind of random to try and find a cover for, so I just went with the one from the Tobichi store, and honestly because it had the foiling on the front, so I could still enjoy the fact that it was specifically branded. This was only purchased because I was having major Hobonichi FOMO. In 2018, I decided to make a fake Hobonichi journal, which I ended up keeping, but I still wanted to get involved, so I thought, oh, look, this. I've never seen this before, and it sounded like a great idea. They kind of got me in the YouTube video when they said, think about the last 5 years and everything that's happened, and as I kind of went through memory lane, I was immediately taken with the idea of documenting the next 5. So, I think I've said that before. This cover is not the cover the book came in, this is the cover that the cover came in, and I've just covered it with stickers and embroidered patches and stuff, just from my travels and from wherever I go and whatever I find, and from friends. Makes it a little bit more special, and I do house it inside this box just to keep it nice and clean, because 5 years of daily use is going to see this thing kind of take a battering. I'm not precious at the best of times, but I do want to kind of keep this a little nice, or at least intact by the end of the 5 years. So let's just start flipping. I'm going to flip through any of the pages that don't have drawings and stuff on them, but I will stop when there's something that's like decorative on the right hand side or the left hand side, and just kind of tell you what I did there. January 1st, the first day, obvi. I just kind of welcomed myself to the journal. I did a bit of sketching over here with a pen and some pencil. You can see at the start I was very into sketching and making sure that each of the days were kind of, it had a little bit of something on there. I wasn't doing a sketch daily kind of a thing, but I did want to at least start there and see what happened. I think it trails off pretty quickly. So more pencil and pen sketches. You can see in the A6 it is a tiny little spot to fill on the left hand side, so this is a super manageable diary to go through, and I haven't seen a ton of people do like a yearly flip or even just how I use mine. There are a few videos out there that I have watched and that I find interesting. People use them for different things, but for me it's just a daily account of things that had happened. They don't have to be super interesting. In fact, some days it just says sick, tired, in bed, the end. But I do try and find something interesting because I know one day I'll go back and look at it, and you know, for the 5 years, the consecutive years, I do want to think that I had some good times over those 5 years. Here's a little sketch of one of my other journals. Sketch of my Whitney t-shirt, the I have nothing on the sleeve. This is around Art Journaling the Magic, the first time that I went earlier in 2019. These are some lyrics from a Hillsong song. Hillsong song? Song? Do likes those lyrics. This is a little sketch. I put paint marker on here because I wanted to see if the paint marker would bleed through. It doesn't. There's a bit of ghosting. Most things will ghost in this because the paper is very, very thin. But it gives it a weird texture. I don't like that it stiffens the paper. Usually the watercolor will warp it and crinkle it, but the paint marker kind of, I don't know, it like plasticized it a little bit. I didn't love it. So I think I kind of left paint marker out. I used it a few more times just to see, but I don't know. Like, catch me in a mood. Or maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. I'm not going to put any rules on myself, but wasn't my fave. This I stamped in here and then I did watercolor on top of it. I think this worked really nicely. I kind of enjoyed that. And I did heat tool this and kind of pulled it a little taut as it dried so that it would be nice and flat. Sometimes this will warp pretty badly if you use a lot of water when you're watercoloring it. And the more of these pages that are warped and crinkled, the fatter your book's gonna get. And you can already see this book is full of pages. So I managed to keep mine really intact this year. And I've only put in a bunch of like photos and stuff where it was super important. I try not to add anything to the pages. Even watercolor I try to do sparingly, as in, you know, not every single day, just so that I don't bulk up the book. I don't really want it to fall apart at the spine. This is for Etsy. Did some Etsy shipping. I think that's a glaze pen. Here I've got some, I believe these are Mardliners, zebra Mardliners, and some pen. I think I was talking about, Instagram live version, off-camera version too. My concept stamp set came out in January, so this was obviously the time where I was playing with a lot of them and getting a lot of samples put together. Or as we now like to call them, stamples. That's when you're stamping out sample pieces. So these are my sample pages. This was one of those secrets that I was trying to hide from everybody when I was going through the audition process for making it on NBC, and like I couldn't talk about anything and I couldn't say what I was doing, but yeah, that was a real trip. If you've heard that story, then you've heard that story. I'm not going to go back into it now. This one was really interesting. I kind of liked this. It's probably the most simple thing in here. I used my zebra Mardliner and I colored in the little individual squares, and then I put little raindrops inside it because it rarely rains here in California, well, Southern California anyway. So I just kind of documented the rain. It looks like little pixels of rain. I really like that. Here we've got some testing of a Winsor & Newton Cobalt Violet watercolor, some more paint marker over the top of that, and the Daisy collaborative books went into print, so I did a little watercolor illustration of that there. This is a transparent sticker of one of the envelopes from my Valentine's Day collage sheets, and yeah, it looked really nice. This is when I think this is the first thing that I added, the first sticker or anything that wasn't, you know, straight onto the page. And I even put here, I wonder if I will regret this in 2021, because I was really, really careful not to add ephemera to this, because like I said, you bust the spine if you just keep adding ephemera to it. So you have to be really selective about which pages you think you're going to give that moment to. So I don't know why I chose that, because it's probably not the most interesting thing ever, but it's a transparent sticker, so I feel like it's kind of the more thin version of stickers. Let's just call it that. Here's a little illustration that I did because I had a bad migraine. I did that after the migraine, obviously. I didn't do it while I had it. Here's another sticker. These are vinyl stickers. I got a new sticker set, so I just wanted to use it. It's another one of the Stamples from Creativation. Here's a really quick sketch. When I was putting together my whimsical illustration course, I used to get really inspired to recap some of the things that I was teaching in my daily journal. So this is a part of the building blocks lesson, which has to do with urban sketching. It's just a mini component of the course. So I quickly did the Disneyland castle in here. I really like it. This sparkly pen is I'm gonna butcher this because it's Japanese and English, but Kira, which means sparkle, rich. So I think it's like rich sparkles. And it's a highlighter, but it's got glitter all through it. So that's that. It's by Zebra. Or zebra, whatever you want to call it. Half my camp's zebra, half my camp is zebra. So yeah, it's a zebra glittery highlighter, which I really love. Some days I had more to write than just this, so I would write it over here, Valentine's Day being one of those days, thank goodness. You'd want to think I had a lot to write about on Valentine's Day. Although I didn't make it my mission to try and write extra, I should just say that. I really did want to just keep it to this, because this I felt like over 5 years I'd want to keep maybe even exploring drawing the same thing and seeing how it changed in a year, and then having like 5 years worth of the growth on one page. But you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. You know, my mind changes every 5 seconds. Here's some more watercolor. This one's a little bit more warped. This is also another Stample. This is from the concept stamp set. I'd actually done a week of these in my Hobonichi, and I wanted to put one in here just to document the documenting. I like a bit of meta journaling. Here's a bit more stamping, and I colored this in really quickly with the zebra Mardliners. It was a really fun little look. This is stamped out too from my bloke stamp set. This is stamped out from my concept stamp set. These are all the little individual pieces, and I colored them with pencil just to make it look like a nice little image there. I really like that. I've got some more of my whimsical illustration coursework kind of bouncing through these pages. I took the pixel idea from the rain, tried to color in the stamp that way. Didn't really work out, but you know, you never know if you don't try. So she's there, she lives there now. This is all done in pen. It's a Muji 0.25 pen. I love these pens. They're really, really fun because they're so super fine lined, but they can get really hard to use after a long period of time because that barrel is a, what is it, hexagonal barrel? And it is a really hard plastic, so you kind of give yourself a break after a little bit, but I really love this. This is also carrying on that theme of the lines filling the bodies, and more ideas from my whimsical illustration course. If you've done that course, some of this might look very familiar to you around this period, because this is the period where I was finalizing everything and getting it ready to launch, I believe. Yeah, February. Yeah, end of February, wow. Oh, here, the day before the launch. I must have launched it here. Yeah, I mean, I'm literally trying to remember something, but I've got it written down right here. I'm such a fool. So this is more of those pencil sketches. This is my Mitsubishi red blue pencil. I really get into that when I'm sketching. I did this Kokeshi doll all in pencil as well, just the Mitsubishi red blue one. These are some more zebra mild liners. I just guess I wanted to swatch those colors out. Here I've got some little pen sketches. I booked my flights to Japan that day, so just wanted to remember that. This is taxes. I know it's not decoration, but I just wanted you to know how I feel about doing all the accounting work for tax season. It's always the most dreaded part of my year, but once it's done, I feel like I can take on the world literally. So yeah, but I do hate it. Here I've got my little green card. I renewed my green card that day. I've got some watercolor, and this is again some paint marker, and then this is ink. This is like diluted ink, so just a mixture of things. Just drawing this, what are they called? Seagulls from Finding Nemo, because I had done them when I went to Disneyland. So I just wanted to. Sometimes what is in here is from another journal, but I wanted to just do it again in here, just to do it again, just because I had fun doing it. I mean, I kind of see it as like documenting what I'd done in another journal, so it seems pointless sometimes, but sometimes it is just because I had fun doing it, or I thought it was a funny idea, or I don't know. It was a part of my day, so I just kind of document it that way, I guess. I will just say, sometimes you can see that I've just, you know, written words in, or just almost nothing, and then other days I've written a lot in really tiny font, and the pens change all the time. I don't keep any kind of consistency when it comes to the writing on the left hand side. It is whatever I feel on that day, that's what'll happen. This is one of my illustrations that I use for my corner pieces stamp set, just kind of sized up and put up there with some watercolor. This is just a nice little quote. I decided to use that space to decorate. And then I decided to use this space to decorate. These are two of my stamps from the She's Three-Faced stamp set. I thought that was really fun. I really like the look of that. And I didn't have much to say today, so, you know, I just left it. This is a little documenting in a pen, and I think that's a paint marker back there of the a YouTube video that I filmed that day. And I decided to write down that way for this day. I don't know why. I don't know what came over me. Maybe I was feeling really creative that day, but it's so stupid to look at now. I've got a little pencil sketch inside this day here, just to break it up. This is around Easter time, so I had my little fashion illustration in pen and then a paint marker egg. I really like the contrast between how flat and bold those colors are and how wispy and, you know, loose those lines are. I think that was fun. And then we go to Japan. I did take this with me because I wanted to take it on a pilgrimage back to its birthplace. But I did kind of have an idea that I wanted to buy this cover, so I thought, well, I'll take the book with me. Also, I knew that they were bringing in the reign of the new emperor, or they were moving into a new era. I forgot whatever one it was. But I knew they were going to have that special stamp at the Hobonichi store. So I thought, well, I'll bring this, and I can just be ultra extra and put that stamp straight into here. So I did that. But as I got to Japan, I thought, you know what? Let me not actually write anything in here because this is a super significant moment and I don't know how to document absolutely everything that's going to go on in here because it was a super hectic trip as it was. And I wanted to do it justice, and I thought, well, probably the best way to do it is just to photo collage the whole thing and print out little photo strips. So I printed them on some matte photo sticker paper because it's just kind of like the thinnest and highest quality photo print I can get from my printer, and I just collaged together what happened on the day. So this is us leaving to go to Japan. We had a time zone change, so there's nothing really on that day. Tokyo Disney Sea, and now I get to be reminded of this super special event with like all the memories in pictures. Now I wouldn't do this all the time, and I couldn't do the whole year because as it is, this part bulked up a little bit more. So you can see, like, is this all the photos? Yeah. This is only 2 weeks, and it bulked up that much compared to, that's how thin the book usually is. So I would say it probably doubled in size. So if you wanted to do photos every single day, I think your journal would just 360 and bust the spine. So it's not something I would recommend doing often. I did it once when I went to Japan, and I did it once when I went to Australia. I imagine over the next 4 years that I have with this journal, I will probably go somewhere else and probably do the same. But hopefully, if it does start to chunk up a little bit, I will stop. Or hopefully I end up going on the same days that I had the like hopefully I go on the holidays at the same time, because if there's already a sticker on there, it doesn't matter if there's 2 on there, I guess. I just don't want them on different pages. Could you imagine I plan my future trips around my stickers in my journal? I probably would. Anyway, so here are all the sticker photo collages. I think it was a great way to document it. There was that one day where we went to the store that I did end up stamping onto it, and I just I loved it. I loved being able to look back at these. And see, this is actually wrote here. I put the stickers down here. This is the stamps from Reiwa 2019. But it's just really nice to go back and look at all this stuff and have a lot more of a visual response for this like super special time. This was a sick day and we didn't take any photos, but I think this is funnier than putting like any writing down because this is literally how we felt. Nothing happened. Well, Stella was sick the day before, poor thing, soldiered on and made it out anyway. I was sick that day. We had a 1-day delay, but yeah, this was our trip to Japan. Super, super fun. Absolutely loved every minute of it. And I love how it's documented in here. Super sad to leave. Put it in black and white just to be dramatic. And you get your time back when you come back to the country. So I lived today twice and I was exhausted both times. That sounds like something I would say. We got a few pen illustrations with zebra mildliner. This is with the brush mildliners, which I really, really love. I got those in Japan. And a Muji 0.25 gel pen in blue. I love that look. Super fun. I've got a mermaid sketch here. I did a really simplified mermaid in 2019. I've got a new gouache palette setup picture. This was actually done with pencils, I think. Pencils and probably a little marker and my blue pen. I've got some purikura with Steve. There's actually a little purikura booth near our house. It's not totally near it, but it's within driving distance, which matters to me. Yeah, so we went to go and have those. It's bowling there as well. There's a whole arcade. It's not just the booth, but yeah. Sometimes I go there just to live in my full fantasy. Here I've got probably one of the most like carefully curated and, you know, particular illustrations that I've done in this. I really wanted to capture the whole day in like little pictures, as you know, how you would do if you did a daily draw thing, or like draw my days or something. So I just decided to pick out each little thing from that day and just draw it. And then I colored it in with the zebra mildliners. Now, I don't favor the mildliners over anything particularly. It's just that they're pretty quick drying. They've got a good color selection that are really, you know, they're kind of fun and vibrant, but they don't bleed through. So this has ghosting at the best of times. Just like I said, the paper is really thin, and I don't mind the ghosting, but sometimes it's just, you don't want to use dark colors, or you certainly don't want to use a marker that's going to bleed through everything. So the zebra mildliners I found to be probably the best thing to use if you are going to get a little bit sketchy, illustrate in here, kind of draw in here, and you do want to use color. Watercolor is also good for it, but you'll want to avoid using too much watercolor. Just like I said, you'll crinkle, it'll start to warp, and your pages will start to bulk up the whole journal. So I do prefer those zebra mildliners in here. Here I've stamped out my little corner pieces stamp sets, and I've just colored them in with some graphite pencil and a little bit of red pencil. Oh, we got the keys to our new place. I'm in that new place right now filming. I love this new place. I remember coming over here actually, I kind of loved it. It was, I love being here. This is the first kind of place I've lived in the States where I just thought this is probably exactly where I should be. So it's really nice. Cute memory. Oh, here I got some new washi tape. It's really special what I put in here. I'll just have to say that much. I know you've seen some pretty random stickers in before, but as far as adding ephemera to this, I'm so selective about it. It's kind of a crack to go back through the year and see exactly what was the most important things to add, because there are a few washi tapes in here. I've got a little pen sketch going on here. Love her, she's cute. Oh, I know this isn't like super decorative or something, but I mean, it's kind of. I did this with pencil. This was something that I heard at church, and it was something so simple but so profound in the way that you can go about disagreeing with someone, and it can be as simple as saying, I think differently about that, and having respect enough with someone just to move forward. To me, life changed since I heard that message. Obviously everything's become easier. No, but this is just one of those things that I do like to carry around with me, especially in an online space. So I'm going to leave that as kind of like my little bit to share today that I feel like might be on my heart to share, because I did do a double take when I flipped through this page. But yeah, I think this is one of the most important things that I had heard in 2019. Among other things, there are a few other key moments during the year, but this in particular, I think differently about that. I mean, how simple is that to say? How nice is that to say and respectful? So this is something that I try to remember all the time, and hopefully that makes you feel as good as I felt when I first heard it. It's so simple. It's so simple. Hard to do, but simple concept. Here you've got a little pencil ballerina sketch. I know what phase this was too, because my sketchbook was all these sketches as well. This is when I was going down to the cafe all the time to sketch every morning. Here is a little sketch, pencil sketch, and some watercolor of one of the pages from my travel journal to Japan. Got another little ballpoint pen sketch here of a new journal cover that I got. Another ballpoint pen sketch here that I just coloured in quickly with some zebra mildliners from when I saw Toy Story 4. I must have had a lot to say about that. Another ballpoint pen sketch. This was my ballpoint pen sketch phase. This is so funny. I'm so predictable. Like, well, I mean, not predictable, but like obvious. Do you know what I mean? I don't know I don't know. I'm trying to out myself here. But I'm sure you've seen this all before. I go through crazy phases where I'm like super addicted to something, and it could be for 2 days, could be for 2 months, could be for 2 years, but when I'm in it, like I'm very in it. Everything becomes about that. I mean I dabble, I do everything, but when I get it's like I've got a concentration. You know, I don't know what people really do at college, but when they say they've got a major, it's like I change my major every 5 minutes. Here's a pencil sketch with some zebra mildliner colouring. This is supposed to be a self-portrait, by the way, but I was very generous to myself and shaved off a few pounds. Oh, nothing there. We've got, oh, I loved this one. This was the, we called it a pop-through journal page that I did for YouTube. There's a little pen sketch of that. Here I've got 3 little pencil sketches of some modern Kokeshi dolls. This must have been, when was this? Was this, I feel like I did that around Patreon. Oh, Patreon was August, so this was in July, so I must have been gearing up, and yeah, maybe you'll start to see some of the Patreon stuff that happened in here. Maybe not. It could be nothing up until that point. Maybe I was busy putting it all together. Yeah, no, I jumped the gun with that one. I don't think there is any other Patreon stuff here. Just this was kind of recapping how my 28th year was, my age of being 28, what I felt about it, because on this day I turned 29. And then I had a FaceTime call with my sister, and my nephew grabbed the phone and ran around the house, and this was the view that I saw. It was super hilarious. This is a really crude sketch of it, but I did this, I think the black was Tombow marker, the rest was pencil, and I just sketched it out in pen. New washi tape, I love this washi tape. This is the Magical Day washi tape, all my sketches from Disneyland. Oh look guys, I had a meltdown on August 10th and I continued on August 11th. Oh, the printer broke. Did I have a meltdown because of that, or did I have my meltdown then that broke? This is a lot. Oh look, I think you can feel my emotion here. Just quickly speed through all of that. More lyrics from Worship. Oh look, here's a little printout of the doll parts. This is when I first designed it. This was a printout from the computer when I was piecing all of the joints together and all of the stuff to see if it would work. Super cute. I love those stamps. Here's another pen and mild liner drawing, a little sketch. This is of the playtest press because I really liked those. Here I've got lots of washi stickers in here. These are from the creator box. This is a Tim Holtz one, the words, but the ones underneath are Ali Brown's designs from the creator box, which are just stunning. And I love that I can have those in my journal. It just feels very personal. Thank you, Ali. And these were the ones that I used as tests to make sure that the quality was going to be good so that I could use that same manufacturer to make these ones for the creator box. So it's kind of full circle moment there. We made it to October! This is my secret Inktober project. I felt really good about doing a sneaky little Inktober project in 2019. I tried my best at trolling everyone and saying I wasn't doing it, but secretly was doing it in this journal. Technically I wasn't. Like, it wasn't a real Inktober I would consider, but, I mean, yeah, I guess. Compared to the years before, it was very, very low-key, but I really enjoyed it, so that's all that matters, I think. I also got this beautiful new washi tape. Isn't that stunning? I didn't get this recently. I got this around this time in October, but super beautiful. I forgot the name, forgot the brand, forgot everything. I'm sure it's listed somewhere, so sorry, can't help you with that. These are all ballpoint pen sketches that I did. They were black and white, and I put a bit of red accent on there. I think one of them I inverted that and did some red and white with, maybe it was just red, I don't know. But just tried to draw something. It didn't have to be anything crazy, it was just something. A little woman poking out of the spine of the book. And I really love them. I think they're super different. I like the challenge of coming up with something different each day and also having to work straight into the book with ballpoint pen. Like, there was no pre-sketching, there was no finding references, there was no nothing. It was just take the pen, see what happens. So that's why it's very, like Mermaid 2018, results may vary. The results may always vary whenever I just get in the mood to do something, so ultimately, if I've had fun, I think that's all that really matters, and I really had fun with this one. This one I did cut out this is Steve's birthday, so I had been trying to make him a birthday card, and so many of them turned out so horrible. And this was probably one of the most charming little thumbnail sketches that I had done, so I decided to cut it out and put it in my journal, just to remember actually how horrible it was to try and make his birthday card. Oh, it was a nightmare. But I had fun with this though, so poor Steve. Yeah, this one actually did reference, I shouldn't say I didn't prepare anything, because this one did reference another little video I had made for a post on someone else's Instagram, the Surely Simple Challenge. They were doing like a Halloween prompts, and I had vampires, so I had stamped it out with the concept stamp set. I made a video about it, I think I put one on my Instagram as well, but I just referenced that to draw it, because I really liked it. Ironically, I love the drawing better than I loved anything I did for that video, so this one makes me smile. I like her. That one is just nuts. I got some new little watercolors from they're handmade, the Cliffs of Watertown. This one's Cotton Candy, this one's Enchanted Forest, this one's Golden Rose. Cotton Candy one I love. Love, love, love. It's pink with a purple iridescent shift. I think I've made a little video on all of these before anyway, so I'll just show you the sketches. Essentially they're all done the same way, so you know, nothing groundbreaking here. This is another washi sticker from Ali Brown's set in the creator box. This is also another sticker. I collaged these together, like Ali designed them so that they were layerable, so they've got alcohol ink abstracts and quotes and like little washi strips. So I kind of put them together, but I love having them in there. I love having it in there because honestly, like, you couldn't do, I know to bang on about it, but see all this, like, it looks like an alcohol ink like little abstract in my journal. I couldn't actually do that on this paper in this book, and I couldn't have it scaled down to this size where, like, you know, all of this texture and stuff is that size. So it looks super interesting to me. And because they're washi, they blend in and they're transparent, so they layer well and you can see through it, and it's just thin. It's beautiful. Love it. I live for it. I love it. This, I believe, is watercolor. Yes, that's watercolor. A little pumpkin. Here I was testing out some Hydrocolor watercolors, and you can see they are stunning. They are so metallic and reflective and shiny, and my goodness, everything I want to be in life. So these are the colors there if you want to have a little screenshot moment for yourself. But I decided to do a little swatch doll. Hadn't done one in ages. She's got no body or anything. She's just a little flower because I only needed this part, but yeah, she's cute. I love her. Here I made it to Australia. This is November in 2019, and I did the same thing from Japan, but I did it obviously for my trip to Australia. Now this was hard because I had a lot more photos, so some days I did try to get every photo in there, and the collage became really small. Thank goodness this paper, it's listed in my Amazon storefront under the papers section. It's the Chiltern Wove matte photo paper. It is absolutely incredible quality. It's stunning. If you can get your hands on some of this, don't buy all of it because I'll need some in the future, please, but please get your hands on some of this. If you love to print sticker photos, or you just love to print photos in general and you want to eliminate the hassle of gluing them into things, especially if you're going to try something like this, it is just stunning. So that's, and I say that because these are printed really small and there's still some really great detail in there. I know the printer has something to do with it, also listed in my Amazon storefront under office products or something. It's the Canon MX922. Those, I'm going to say, after I had problems last year. I've only ever really had problems because I broke them, but one I did get sent that was faulty, so now I kind of understand where other people are coming from when they say they've had troubles. So let's just call that a hit and miss, but I personally love it still, even though I broke a bunch and I got a faulty one. But anyway, so this is all lots of family stuff, lots of Australia. I have a whole video on this if you want to see kind of travel journaling from that Australia trip. I had an absolute blast. This is actually going to make me really sad to look through, so yeah. More of these photo stickers. I think this is the only, so twice, I did for Japan, I did for Australia. Maybe photo sticker collages will just be an international holiday or trip kind of a thing, but you never know. I do often get the urge to print more photos and put them in here. So then I got back to the States. This is a sticker that has everyone's work from the Creator Box on it, because Creator Box is shipped out that day after the couple of months of trials and errors that happened along the way. Still very proud of that, and still very proud of everyone that was involved. Here was my terrible attempt at just... I was using stuff in the Creator Box and I was kind of like fiddling with it and playing with it as I was talking through what everything was. But I ended up making the weirdest things, so I'm just gonna let these live here. I'm so sorry, Adele. I should have done a better job displaying the stamps, because looking back on this looks nuts. In my head, I was like, oh, it's working. I'm demonstrating it. But looking back on it, what is this? There's so much else I could have done. Oh, anyway, can't win them all. These are Job's tapes from the Creator Box. Here is a sketch from Club 33 at Disneyland. This was Art Journaling the Magic 13. So this was the second Art Journaling the Magic I got to experience in the same year. I know. Oh, it's so much fun, but this was a little urban sketch that I did of that. And this in itself, just to say that like I picked up this pen and did this so quickly because I was feeling all of the confidence that I had gained in that 1 week of being with everybody. And yeah, they'll make you leave feeling like you can do anything. So I really appreciate that. And we're in December now, so we're getting close to the end. Thank you for sticking around for this super chatty video. Oh, I found a little bent page there. I'm gonna try and straighten that out before it becomes a problem. yeah, I know it was super chatty, and I know there was a lot to look at. Like I said, I kind of just go through this. Some days I feel like doing something here, some days I don't feel like doing anything there. Different pens, different writing, different moods. I think you can kind of tell when things get really hectic and busy because everything gets really messy and black and white. I think you can tell when other times are kind of slower, when I've taken more self-care and I've you know, things seem to be a lot nicer to look at, a little bit more pleasing. Or maybe I've just tricked everyone and maybe the nicer things are when I was at my worst. No, I mean, I think I'm pretty easily readable. Is that what I want to say? I'm easy to read. And I think this is a display of, you know, everything that's kind of on the inside you can see on the outside. And even if you're not, you know, literally watching me as I go through my daily routine, I think you probably get a sense of how I am, even just flicking through this, which is why I love journaling and why I always think that journaling is such an important thing. Just because it's another way of communicating. It's another way of getting across a piece of yourself or parts of yourself that you might usually keep hidden, or you might not share easily with others, or maybe things that people didn't know about you that they love about you. Maybe they'll see that in some of your artwork. I don't know. I think it literally seems like another type of communication, sharing your art creatively in journaling. Yeah. I don't know. Don't want to get too deep because the video's already long, but I know we're at the end here. So I've got another little photo here because I love this because Steve took a photo of me on the couch and I just look so relaxed. Trying to keep that theme going for 2020. Little Women, I saw it twice in the movie theater in the same couple of days. I love the movie. I don't think I've seen any Little Women before that. I've never read the book or anything, so I had no idea what it was about. I know that's terrible, but because I feel like it's so iconic, but I don't know, it's just never been a thing that my family got into. Anyway, my mum's seen it, Steve's seen it 3 times at the movies, Stella went to see it, Danielle went to see it, literally everyone I know has seen it. So if you haven't seen Little Women, please go and see it if that's something you would like to do. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful movie. My mum's still devastated. I'm devastated. It's so beautiful. I loved it. So I just drew the sisters there because I love their relationship. I loved all of them, how different they were. Oh, incredible. This day I was just swatching out a few of the new little things that I picked up at the Japanese stationery store. These are some dual brush pens, the Tombos. I like Tombos. I don't know why I've never bought more of them because I feel like they're just, I can use those interchangeably with the Zebra mild liners because they don't bleed through as much or ghost as much. So I'll use those as well, and I just wanted to pick up a few colors. And I got the Zig Clean Color Dot markers. They've looked like they were so pointless to me for so long. But then I looked at them in the store and I thought, well, they're like single stock, so I'll just buy a couple of them. I kind of like them. I don't know. And I used to stay away from water-based markers kind of all the time. You know, I rarely would use water-based markers because I have a beautiful set of alcohol-based markers, but ever since I got this journal and I can't use alcohol-based markers in here without it bleeding through like 60 pages at once, I've just needed some water-based markers, and I've found that there's tons of really, really beautiful ones. So yeah, I'm just kind of always on the hunt now for those. This is that little dot marker. See, it makes this chubby little writing. I don't know, I'm kind of obsessed with it right now, so possibly might bring some more of those dot markers in. And you know, I love to do all my little sprinkle of twinkles, so this little dot thing everywhere is just, I don't know, it's actually oddly satisfying. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna encourage you to buy anything, but I'm just gonna let you know I got them. And this was New Year's Eve, and then this is my year in review. I didn't do anything crazy, you know, trying to finish out the year and being like super reflective or anything. I just wanted to kind of review everything I had done within the year 2019 and just be proud of all of that. And yeah, looking back on it, it was a pretty big year. I had an absolute blast. Thank you so much for being with me if you're with me in 2019. If you're watching this in 2020 and ready to start the year with me, I'll be doing this again for 2020, and hopefully if I don't see you again, I'll maybe see you in next year's flip. It sounds so random to say, but if I do only catch you once a year, I hope you had a good time watching the video anyway. I'm going to get back to putting together the more aesthetic version of this flip through to music, but this is my Hobonichi Techo A6 size 5-year journal, and I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for being with me in this flip, and I will see you again real soon. Bye.